Except for neoprene suits, dry suits don't insulate you much. To do that, you wear an undergarment. Undergarments provide insulation by trapping air or argon, and through its own insulating characteristics. There are 6 considerations when choosing an undergarment, the first being cost. Like all dive gear, the more you can invest, the more you'll get in terms of performance, durability, and other advantages. Second, choose your undergarment based on the water temperature you'll be using it in. Different garments have different temperature ratings. Third, you might want to consider the garment's insulating characteristics when wet. Some, like Thinsulate, provide excellent insulation even with a leak. Others don't insulate as well. Fourth, consider the care the garment requires. Some take the same care as any clothing. Other types have special laundering requirements. Fifth, think about the garment's bulk. Some materials have little bulk, whereas others require more bulk for the same insulation. Less bulk makes it easier to get into and out of your dry suit, and minimizes the weight you need to wear. Finally, be sure to choose a suit that doesn't restrict your movement or range of motion. Remember, you'll be swimming in this suit, so you'll need to be able to move comfortably. Depending on the water temperature, you may want extra layers around your torso. Be sure that anything you wear against your skin has wicking properties that carry away moisture. If not, add the layer over your undergarment. Wearing the wrong material against your body, like cotton, will trap moisture and actually make you colder instead of warmer. A dry suit carries gas trapped in the undergarment to provide insulation, but that means you may need more weight to offset the resulting buoyancy. How much more depends on the type of suit and undergarment you use, so it may be a little more weight than you're used to, or considerably more. You may be used to a weight belt, but alternatives include weight harness systems and BCDs with integrated weights. These take the load off your lower back and make it easy to redistribute weight. You can even divide your weight between 2 weight systems and use accessory weights to distribute weight where it's most comfortable and gives the underwater balance you like. Remember, you don't have to be able to ditch all of your weight in an emergency, just enough to assure positive buoyancy. With 2 weight systems, you can ditch part of your weight, minimizing the risk of an uncontrolled ascent. Chances are the BCD you have will work just fine with a dry suit, though you may need to readjust it to fit over the extra bulk. You're going to learn to control your buoyancy underwater using your dry suit, but it's much more comfortable to use your BCD to float at the surface. And you use your BCD for buoyancy control if you have a problem with your dry suit. With lower heat capacity than air, argon insulates better than air without adding insulation. An argon system is a small cylinder with a special regulator that connects to your dry suit. Note that it has no regulator second stage, so you can't accidentally breathe from it. It's recommended that you still have a low-pressure hose coming off your air regulator that you can attach to your dry suit if you inadvertently use all your argon during a dive. Using argon has some disadvantages, including the inconvenience of carrying the extra system and getting argon, which many dive stores don't carry. There may be regulations you have to follow regarding the type of valves and regulators used with argon, and the decompression considerations of diving surrounded by argon have not been studied. There are no major theoretical concerns, but if you choose to dive with argon, you must accept the risk that there may be unknown decompression risks. It's important that an argon system be marked clearly so that no one accidentally tries to breathe from it. Argon isn't toxic. The concern is the lack of oxygen, which would cause a diver to black out without warning. Now that you're familiar with the components that make up your dry suit system, let's look at the procedures for putting it on and diving in it. If it's warm out, wait until the last moment possible to get into your undergarment and dry suit. Begin by removing any jewelry, watches, or anything that could damage your wrist or neck seals. How you don a suit varies with the model, but with most, you begin by stepping in, pulling it up to your waist, and putting on the suspenders if the suit has them. Usually, your arms go in next. You may want to lubricate the seal with talcum powder, or as recommended by the manufacturer so they slide on easily. Take your time. Put seals on slowly and carefully so you don't damage or stretch them out of shape. Be sure each seal lies flat and doesn't have hair or anything else under it. The last seal is your neck seal. If you have a neoprene neck seal, note how you fold it under. With either latex or neoprene, you may want to get your buddy to check that it's flat and that there's no hair trapped beneath it. Secure the foot straps if your suit has them, if you haven't already. Now you're ready to zip up. You can do this yourself in a self-donned suit. Pull slowly, steadily, and never force the zipper. Get your buddy to zip you up if you're wearing a shoulder entry suit, but it's a good habit to give the zipper a final tug yourself to be sure it's closed. If your suit has a telescoping torso, fold it over and secure it after the suit's zipped. The last step is to purge the suit of excess air so it doesn't balloon around your neck after you get in. Hold open your neck seal and crouch into a ball. You'll feel the air jet past your face. Replace the seal and stand up. Now you're ready to finish gearing up and go diving. If you're using argon, re-inflate the suit with argon and do this again to flush air out of the suit for better insulation. After your pre-dive safety check, which should include checking your dry suit valves for proper operation, put air into your BCD so you'll float comfortably and enter the water. If there's a bit too much air in your suit, release it through the exhaust valve. Relax, using your BCD for positive buoyancy. Now you can check your weight. Purge your suit of excess air and open the automatic exhaust valve all the way. Then, with your regulator in your mouth, empty your BCD and hold a normal breath and see how high you float in the water. Add or subtract weight until you float at eye level. Then, if you're checking your weight with a full tank, add 2 to 3 kilograms, 5 to 6 pounds. The extra weight compensates for the weight you lose as you consume air. Without it, you may have too much positive buoyancy at the end of the dive to comfortably make a safety stop. You usually need to recheck your weight when you change undergarments, dry suits, or go from fresh to salt water, or vice versa. After your weight's set, you're ready to descend. Make sure all the air's out of your BCD and exhale. That should start you downward. As you descend, you'll feel the dry suit squeeze around you as the water compresses the gas inside. Adding air or argon offsets the compression to prevent a suit squeeze and to keep your buoyancy under control. Lower your left shoulder and the exhaust valve as you add gas in short bursts. Short bursts control your buoyancy more effectively, and in very cool water, this helps avoid freezing up the inflator valve. With your descent under control, you may want to shift to a more horizontal position, like this, to help distribute gas throughout the suit. At the bottom, if you find you're a bit too heavy, close your exhaust valve a turn so your suit holds more gas. When you're properly weighted, you'll only need to make minor adjustments, if any. Now enjoy your dive. Add gas as you descend. And by keeping the automatic exhaust valve at the highest point whenever you go up a bit, expanding gas vents automatically. During ascents, expanding gas escapes automatically, but set the valve all the way open so it releases gas easily. Ascend with the valve at the highest point on the suit, and you can manually exhaust as needed to keep up with gas expanding in your suit. When you reach the surface after your safety stop, inflate your BCD so you float comfortably.